Welcome to the Cinescape podcast. We're changing the landscape of movie and TV news and reviews. Happy rainy Sunday here on the eastern side of Pennsylvania, where they got the rain yesterday out on the western front here. My name is Sean Harrigan, not in the Toxic Radio studio today, not joined by the usual rowdy Roddy Tazi, who is currently in Mexico celebrating his honeymoon with his new wife, Samantha. So everybody make sure you send your well wishes to Bill, as we will be back in the studio in 2 weeks' time. But today's going to be a little bit different. As you can see, I'm not in the studio. I'm actually here. You can see all my Funko Pop figures behind me. I'm at home, and I'm joined by somebody very special today. This is Darnell Ingram. Darnell, say hello.
How you doing, everybody? It's Darnell from the Neezy channel, and this is an honor to be among Sean today on this podcast. We're gonna have a great time and just rock out on this miserable rainy day.
Absolutely. Darnell, before we get started, I'm very happy to have you on. I love your YouTube movie reviews that you have up on your channel. Big fan. We're going to get into a little bit of that later on, but thank you so much for joining me today, buddy.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right. With all that out of the way, just a note, I don't have our studio soundboard or anything like that today, so it's going to be a little bare bones, but we're going to roll with it. We're going to jump right into our TV Buzz segment and highlight some of the biggest news stories in the TV world. Darnell, did you know that Star Trek Discovery has been renewed for a second season on the CBS All Access streaming service?
Wow, a second season. I had no idea new season's coming.
Have you checked out any of the episodes for this new incarnation of Star Trek yet?
I did not get a chance to yet. How was it?
I didn't watch any either. Bill watched the first two when they were available on just the regular CBS channel, but he didn't want to subscribe to the All Access streaming, which I totally understand. We talked a lot about that on the our main show. Yeah, it's really, especially for a station that you get for free with your basic cable, that's not something that you really should have to subscribe to, out of your own pocket otherwise to have to watch this show. So I mean, I guess it's good enough that people are watching it and it is getting a second season, but I just think it's a really bad practice for stations to kind of make their own streaming platforms and go off of that. So if it's good enough, maybe I'll check it out on like a Blu-ray release or something.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking, the same thing too.
Yeah. Moving along, very exciting here. Marvel's The Punisher has set a release date of November 17th. Are you a fan of any of these Marvel Netflix shows?
I am. I definitely love The Punisher ever since he was introduced in Daredevil season 2. I was just like, yes. And when it's like, I think it was like midway through season 2, it was just like, hey, by the way, Punisher, he's getting this spinoff too. I'm just like, what? Like, we haven't had the Defenders yet, but I loved it. When I found out the release date was pushed back to the November 17th, I was a little like surprised, because I was like, I understood why they pushed it back because of the incident that happened in Vegas, but I was like, November 17th, that's like, it's like in time for Thanksgiving. I thought it was gonna come out like at the end of October and everything, still in October, so it'd be on November 17th. That's cool. It's definitely enough time. It's like that in-between period after you've done seen Thor Ragnarok, you hype for that. And before Thanksgiving really gets into full swings, you can just have that weekend to just chill out and watch Punisher kill some shit.
Now, what's kind of interesting is that this release date is also Justice League's release date. Do you think there might be a little like cat and mouse game between DC and Marvel there, throwing shade at each other like that?
Yeah, that is the 17th. I don't think it's a fair comparison, because one's on a streaming service that you can watch anywhere, where one's a big screen release. As a fan of Marvel and DC, like, I love both of them. They have their goods and their bads. I'm just like, November 17th, well, it just means Justice League is coming out and Punisher is coming out. That's going to be a good weekend for me. Just going to be seeing a lot of superhero business.
Absolutely. I mean, from all the trailers that we've gotten for The Punisher, I mean, this looks like it's absolutely going to be the most brutal and violent of the Netflix series that we've seen. I mean, Punisher's had some really cool scenes with the Kingpin, which we're going to be talking about in a little bit, crushing gangsters' heads in car doors and stuff like that. But, Frank Castle's really going to kick it up a notch here. with his own solo series. So definitely excited for that. Like you said, it's going to be a big superhero weekend. Between that and Justice League, I actually ordered our group's tickets on Wednesday when they came out. So we're good to go with that already. Maybe I'll get a screener before that too. We'll see. But yeah, definitely looking forward to pre-Thanksgiving week there.
Yes.
Let's move along to a movie that I didn't check out in the theaters, but this is The Dark Tower. So we are getting news that The Dark Tower is actually getting rebooted as a TV series. So I don't think they're going to be They might be moving along with a more films, but I know that I think the Rotten Tomato score right now is at like a 15% for that movie. So maybe putting it as a TV series instead, especially because there's like 7 different books for it, could be a better way to go. Did you see The Dark Tower, Darnell?
I did see The Dark Tower, and I actually I didn't review it because I was just like, it was one of those movies that my counselor dragged me to go see. It was like, Stephen King, Dark Tower. I'm like, okay, whatever. And it had Idris Elba, and I wasn't. It was just a movie I just walked out of like, I don't have to review it because it was just okay, I think it being, because I heard it was a lot of books, I think maybe rebooting it as a TV series might be a better direction and everything, because obviously the movie was not great. A lot of people didn't like it. It tanked. So I think that maybe doing it this way is going to probably give it a better justice.
Yeah, and especially with, like we were saying, with so many books and there's so much material to cover in a hour and a half, 2 hour time span on the big screen, maybe this is better suited for a longer form series where you can really delve deep into the source material and all the other aspects that go along with it. It's really alarming to me that the movie did so poorly when you have Idris Elba, who's one of the greatest actors on the face of the earth right now, and even a Matthew McConaughey as well. Just from everything that I heard, and I'm sure that you can, speak onto it as well, they really cut a lot of things out, and it was pretty short, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty short, and it was just a lot of scenes that were just dragging and just dull. It was just like, it looked like even Idris Elba's falling asleep in this movie. He doesn't give a shit, so why should we?
Right. So as soon as we hear more about that, any kind of casting or release date, we will let you guys know on either a show or on our social media. We're going to stay in this Stephen King universe here. The upcoming Castle Rock series that's going to be on Hulu just cast Pennywise as Bill Skarsgård to play a Shawshank prisoner on the series. I actually had just finished reading the novel, a week or so ago. It's like a 1,300 page, something like that. It was incredible. The movie was great. Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise did a phenomenal job. I'm personally terrified of clowns, so he scared the bejesus out of me. But in terms of this Castle Rock universe, where they're going to be incorporating a lot of the different characters and settings of the different Stephen King novels, this is a really cool nod to the fans. A wink of the eye, getting somebody who's already in the film universe. What do you think about Bill Skarsgård joining the Castle Rock series?
I just feel like again, kind of goes back to this whole superhero thing. We live in a world where it's like everything is getting its own universes, own connecting universes, all connecting in big and small ways. And I think that the casting for him is going to be amazing. I think it's going to be great, him in this show.
Yeah, he was so great in that movie, and I'd actually never really seen him in anything else. So when they had announced that he was going to be portraying Pennywise, and was kind of like left scratching my head, because I know they originally cast what's his name, Will Poulter, who was in what was that comedy with Jennifer Aniston, where they're like a fake family. He's like the younger fake brother.
Yeah, I can't think of the name either.
And when they We're the Millers, I think it was. Well, yeah, We're the Millers. When they had first announced that he was going to be it, I thought that was a terrible choice, just because I don't really think he's a very good actor. But then they, we saw the first footage from it and all, and yeah, Bill Skarsgård was absolutely great. So definitely looking forward to this one. Getting back to what we were talking about with Daredevil, Vincent D'Onofrio has been confirmed to be returning as Kingpin for season 3. Let's get a little more back into Daredevil. What did you think about the first 2 seasons, him on the Defenders, and Vincent D'Onofrio as the Kingpin?
Vincent D'Onofrio, I love him. I was easily like, again, I wish that the Marvel Netflix series were actually connected to the MCU big screen, because I said that before. I think season 1 came out before Age of Ultron, and I was just like, he's clearly like the best Kingpin. He's like the best MCU villain. Period. Besides like Loki and everything. I loved him in the first season. I felt like he was nothing like can't think his name from the Ben Affleck Daredevil. They really fleshed him out, like what they did with him and everything. He was really manipulative. Yeah, Michael Clark Douglas.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, R.I.P. He was so much better than him, because I felt like he embodied what the Kingpin used to be. Because I remember the first time seeing Kingpin was on the '90s animated series Spider-Man.
Yep.
And he reminded me of that Kingpin. And in season 2, when I was like, well, he's in jail, he's not going to be in enough. And he was in, like, when I was going to the episode guide, and I saw he was in one episode, I was like, can't wait till that episode comes up. So when I watched it, it was just like him controlling everything just from jail. Like, he could just leave at any time, but he's not doing all this. I was just like, yes, Kingpin, I want to see you back for season 3. And I'm glad he's going to be back for season 3. And it's just solidified that Daredevil is probably still, until we see Punisher, is going to be the best MCU Netflix series so far.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised that he didn't at least make a cameo in the Defenders, especially because he is so tied in with the Hand. I think they kind of missed out on that. I don't know if maybe there's scheduling conflict or whatever it was. But anything else that I've really seen Vincent D'Onofrio in, I haven't been a fan of his, just because he kind of his cadence and the way that he talks and his mannerisms are kind of odd, but he really does do a good job as Wilson Fisk. So definitely excited to have him back. Maybe he'll crush some more heads. We'll have to see.
I know. I would just, like I said, I like to live in a world where we could see Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin just have type of interaction with Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Absolutely. Like you were saying with the 90s animated series, I mean, he was one of Spider-Man's top villains. I mean, even more so than a adversary of Daredevil. So, hopefully they really ring true to the everything is connected motto that they keep throwing at us, even though everything is really not.
Yeah, like, it's just, oh man, it's so infuriating, because all you need is just like a scene. You could just get those 4 actors to do like maybe a day shoot for Infinity War or Avengers 4, just to be like, hey, we cleaned up a little bit, hey, Spider Guy, we'll handle things down here, you go take out that space bad guy with the golden glove. And
or like, even have him hanging out in the Avengers headquarters, just walk by. Something small, doesn't have to be crazy, but get them in there somehow.
Yeah, I think at this point fans will just be satisfied to see them on the big screen and be like, oh, see, they are part of it. Now I'm happy.
Yeah. We're going to stay in the Netflix realm, as American Vandal has just gotten a 2nd season. Did you check out American Vandal at all? It just came out in the last couple months.
Oh, really? I'm going to do a lot of Netflix binge watching November, so I got to check that out.
Make sure you do, because it's absolutely hysterical. Like, when I first saw, I thought it was a fake trailer on Facebook, even though it was under Netflix's actual account. Yeah, it's this like docu-series, true crime kind of thing, where there's all these dicks drawn, like spray painted all over these teachers' cars in their parking lot, and they're trying to find out who did it in this big drawn out thing. But like as serious in tone as they try to make it, like at the end of the day, it's about somebody spray painting dicks all over the place. And so they go through the season, and it actually gets like really, really deep and interesting to where you're not thinking about the comedy so much. Like, you really want to figure out who did it. But they left it open at the end to where they could do a second season if they wanted to continue that actual story, or maybe spin it off into something completely different. So I'm not sure which way they're going to go with it. But yeah, for somebody like you who hasn't checked it out yet, I definitely recommend it because it's just a lot of fun.
Well, I will put it on the list then. I'm going to check that out.
Put it in the queue. All right. Another show that a lot of people probably have not maybe even heard of or watched. I had mentioned it on our past shows. Channel Zero on Sci-Fi. Have you ever heard of that one or checked it out?
Not yet.
So it's like a horror anthology, like American Horror Story type of thing, where the cast changes and the story changes every season. They're currently right at the end of their second one now. They're only like 6-episode seasons, but the Sci-Fi just released a cast list and premise for the third season, which will be titled Butcher's Block. So Channel Zero, they take internet creepypasta stories and they incorporate them into different storylines for that. So my wife and I had just watched the first episode of the second season. It's a no end house. So the premise of that is there's this like mysterious haunted house that randomly pops up, and people go in, and there's different rooms that you have to go to, and it's different kind of like psychological traumas that you go through. And if you can't handle it, you just exit the house, but if you can, you keep going on, and people start like disappearing or getting sick if they come out. It's pretty wild. So I actually think it's better than American Horror Story is, with the way that they just incorporate so many different storylines that don't really pay off and get boring halfway through. Are you like a horror fan at all, Darnell?
It's a number one horror
fan. So this is one you're gonna want to check out then, and especially for a show that's on Sci-Fi. It's pretty good. The first season was really good, and this one's shaping up to be good. So definitely put that on your regular queue, not Netflix queue.
Regular queue. Got this. I'm learning so much.
And we have one more TV buzz story for you guys, as AMC's Preacher has been renewed for a third season. Have you checked out either the first 2 seasons of Preacher?
Only the first season. Didn't get to watch the second one.
What did you think about the first season?
It was interesting. That's enough for. It's been a while since I watched it, but definitely I walked away from it. Like, season 1 was definitely interesting, and I've been meaning to watch season 2, just never got around to it.
When I had first watched season 1, I was really, up and down with it. Like, there was a couple episodes, maybe 1 or 2 in a row that were really good and interesting, and then there would be one in between that was just all over the place and tonally weird, and just the first season was really uneven. But once it gets to season 2, the story gets a lot tighter and it gets a lot more interesting. So definitely finish that season as we're getting ready for season 3. I think all the characters are really interesting, and they do a lot of a lot of body humor and comedy, especially with some of the gore, and like they just don't really care about the fact that there's body parts being sprayed all over the place or anything like that. Definitely a good show. Seth Rogen, he's one of the co-producers of that show. They do a good job. So hopefully season 3 amps it up even more than season 2.
Cool.
With all of our TV buzz out of the way, we're going to flip the script and change the focus to the movie world. Darnell, the upcoming Han Solo movie has been given the official title of Solo, a Star Wars Story. What do you think about the title?
Just Solo, a Star Wars story. It's just like, so is it a solo Star Wars story, or what kind of story is it?
It's a double entendre.
It's Han Solo. Like, why not just call it Han Solo? When I heard we're getting these solo Star Wars movies, the title is pretty simple, just like Rogue One or Rogue One. People put it on, mistyped it. I think it's interesting. It's definitely one way for Disney to keep shelling out money so they can, for Star Wars toys and stuff like that. And I think it is a good pace, a good break between the episodes. Like, we had episode 7, Force Awakens, and then, episode 8, Force Awakens, and then we had,
Rogue One.
Rogue One, and now we're going to get The Last Jedi this year. So I think it is a good way to break everything up, so it's not like Star Wars overload. Keep the fans hype.
Yeah, it's definitely a good way to keep the entire Star Wars franchise as a whole going in between the regular episodes. This is one that you can say is kind of a cash grab, a solo movie for a character that we already know about. But he does have a huge backstory that we don't know about, whether it's, getting the Millennium Falcon originally or seeing the Kessel Run. I mean, they're filming scenes in the Kessel Spice Mines and things like that. So I would probably say that there's a 95% chance that we're going to see the Kessel Run. You can see him, with his life debt with Chewbacca and how they first meet and things like that. I think he's going to wind up being like a prisoner in the Spice Mines, and he probably winds up saving him and recruiting him onto the ship. So, I think it's a good move. As far as the title goes, like you said, it's very simple, very easy. It doesn't have to be flashy. It gets right to the point. So I don't have a problem with it. I know a lot of people were, giving it a lot of crap online, but, what do you really want to call it? What else would you have a better name for it if you could think of one off the top of your head?
There's like no other way. You pretty much, it is a Star Wars story, so you pretty much have to like put Star Wars in the title, because someone probably be like, just call it Han Solo or call it Solo. People be like, what is that about? What is that? It's like, well, Disney is like, no, it had to be Star Wars in it, so let's call it Solo, a Star Wars story.
Yeah, I think all the individual movies are gonna have a Star Wars story in their title. So that's probably going to be par for the course with everything. I mean, if it's a Boba Fett or a Yoda or a, whoever, it's always going to be a Star Wars story. But I mean, just for Solo itself, it's fine with me.
As long as the movie is good, then I don't care what they call it.
Yeah, absolutely. This next story is going to be quite comical because we're getting a Dora the Explorer movie, and it's going to be a live-action movie, which is also going to be produced by Michael Bay.
So that means Megan Fox is going to be Dora. her backpack is going to be transforming and everything, and the movie's going to end with those 4th of July explosions. So,
apparently, yeah, there's going to be gratuitous ass shots from little girls in there.
Dora the Explorer. This sounds like a joke, but it's not.
It's 100% real. I don't really have anything further to comment on this one. I just figured I'd throw it in there just because.
Who brought this to Michael Bay's attention? Said we should make a Dora Explorer movie, make it live action. Like,
it's $1 billion idea.
Like I said, it's ideas like this. I always think of myself, ideas like this that make it past the studio, the director, the writers, the producers, and actually gets made. And when do we get to a point where someone steps back and be like, what were we thinking? Why did we do this? This is dumb.
I think they all must have been drinking at the time or something.
Maybe it's to get more little girls in the seats, but like I said, I'm just waiting for whoever they cast and watch it be some 21-year-old chick, or like I said, it's going to be Megan Fox. So I'll be like, they're sexualizing Dora. Oh my God, they can't sell this to little girls. It's just, it's going to be a shitstorm waiting to happen.
Yeah, she's gonna follow the map right to the strip club.
Oh, Lord. Lord.
Oh, my. Let's get back to a movie that we're actually looking forward to, because the upcoming Venom film has officially begun filming. It's also been revealed that Tom Hardy's performance as Venom will be a motion capture performance. Are you excited for a Venom film that's apparently not going to be connected to Spider-Man in any way?
See, that's like a yes. And yeah, but it's like a yeah, but oh man, because again, now they've been it's this weird relationship that Sony and Marvel Studios are just having right now, where it's like, oh, you can borrow Spider-Man, but we get to keep some of his other stuff. Because I've been saying this ever since Civil War, and I realized Spider-Man is going to be in MCU. I was like, we could just have a subtle scene at like, maybe at the end of Infinity War, or maybe what could have been like at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where they see the collector or something, and like in the background or something, and maybe there's like a jar with this little black goo or whatever that just like after a battle or whatever just breaks out of the ship, and you just see it like kind of just like crawl off of the ship or something, or maybe just go in Peter Parker's backpack. Something real subtle make you be like, okay, black suit symbiote. But now that it's not going to be connected to the MCU, it is like a bit confusing. And I feel like this is Sony just like taking a step backwards. You took a step forward by working with Marvel Studios and integrating Spider-Man to the MCU, but now you're like, oh, Venom, he's his own solo thing. I think that's dumb. And you have Tom Hardy too. Tom Hardy and Tom Holland together, that would have been crazy. But now it's never going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely love your idea of, first introducing Venom in something like an Infinity War or Guardians or something like that, where it would have been organic and made sense. And then you could still, even if you're not going to have Spider-Man in the Venom movie, you still would have had that tie-in to where they're somehow connected and, that cohesiveness. And then as far as them not being connected at all now, it's not going to make any kind of sense for Venom to be around, because his whole motivation for being is to kill Spider-Man originally, and how's he going to take the shape of the costume without knowing who or what Spider-Man is, because he emulated that, you know what I mean? So it's just a bad move all around. I mean, the movie could wind up to be really great, and that'd be totally cool. But you just want to see them, especially because they're working together, you want to see them do a better job of building their overall universe. So this could be one that is, a step in the wrong direction, but hopefully not, especially with somebody like Tom Hardy playing Eddie Brock.
Yeah, because I felt like we already know, since it's not going to be connected, that means the beginning of the movie is going to be rushed, because it's just gonna be like, oh yeah, I met Peter Parker and this, that, and the third, and I got the symbiote suit and I became Venom. It's like all that stuff that he's talking about, you're like, we could have saw that, but you're just telling us, we can't really connect to it, so it just starts the movie off, now he's Venom or something.
Right.
And like I said, it is a step in the wrong direction, because this is Venom, and Sony, you can work with Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige. You can do this. You can.
Yeah, well, they definitely want to help you out with it.
Yeah, they want to help you out. They, like I said, again, it's what I said before about somebody being in the boardroom. Just being like, what we could do? Simple Easter egg. Just have the Venom symbiote. After the Avengers Infinity War or whatever. With the Collector and everything. Just have it like, just and now it's going to Earth or whatever. 'Cause I always thought to myself, I didn't see Thor Ragnarok, but I was thinking about this in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I was just like, you could easily, when the Guardians go to Earth, you could have the symbiote get on the Guardian ship, so it goes to Earth. So our symbiote's already on Earth, so you already have the seeds planted to be like, oh, okay, yeah, the symbiote's on Earth's going to find Peter Parker, and then he's going to become Black Spider-Man, and then you just have your Venom movie and everything.
Yeah, well, nothing like that happens in Thor Ragnarok, I can tell you that right now. I'm not even going to talk about that, because that movie. I saw it on Thursday. If you guys don't want to wait until it comes out next week and you want to be spoiled, you can head on over to the Cinescape.com. My review is up there now, full spoilers. All I'm going to say is that I did not enjoy Thor Ragnarok, and I'm going to leave it at that. With that one out of the way, Logan director James Mangold and X-23 creator Craig Kyle are reportedly working on a script for an X-23 spin-off film. What do you think about an X-23 solo movie?
I thought, well, it's Fox. It's inevitable, because after all that money Logan made, it was like, well, we can't let the Wolverine franchise die, so X-23. Of course, I loved Logan. And I literally, as I said in my review, I was literally like, you could have this little girl who doesn't say nothing but little grunts or whatever for like 3/4 of the movie. She just absolutely nails it. She's absolutely great. So her getting her own spinoff, I feel like as long as they keep that story element there and everything, and the little girl, I think she'll do great in it. And they keep that, I don't want to say, only make it rated R if it absolutely needs to be rated R, because rated R Wolverine movie was long overdue. But don't make it rated R for the sake of, well, we want to show blood and guts, because that's what's selling right now, So I think it'll be good. I think it'll be great.
Yeah, I'm definitely intrigued by this. Laura Kinney's portrayal of X-23 and Logan, even like you said, even though she didn't really talk very much, she didn't have to. She acted with her face, she acted with her body, she acted with her emotions, and that was a really, really great performance by her. If you guys are just checking out this show for the first time, I got to interview Hugh Jackman in person when before Logan came out. I got to see it about a month early. So Logan itself holds more of a special place in my heart than it would have if I'd just seen it without all that cool stuff going on. But definitely intrigued by the premise of an X-23 movie. Yeah, she goes into whether she can. What am I trying to think of? The group that she met up with. I don't think they gave them a name, all those younger mutants. Maybe
X-Kids.
Yeah, maybe they can spin that off into like an Alpha Flight or something like that. You know what I mean? Because they're already doing New Warriors, which the trailers looked really awesome for. So whether they're gonna make it like a new team, a younger team, or just her by herself making her way through, it's gonna be interesting either way, and hopefully this one definitely comes to fruition. We're going to switch over to DC stuff here because the Raid directors Gareth Evans will be directing a Deathstroke film. What do you think about a solo Deathstroke movie?
Yeah, is it going to be within the DCEU?
That's $1 million question. I'm not sure. I don't think they know. They had all that talk recently that there is no actual DCEU and that they're going to be, they're making a Joker standalone, but they're making a Joker and Harley Quinn movie that's going to be in the, quote unquote DCEU. We know that Deathstroke was supposed to be in the solo Batman movie. I guess that whole thing's up in the air now if they're going to be doing his own solo movie. So whether it's going to still be Manganiello, James Manganiello or John Manganiello, whatever Manganiello that is. DC is just a mess right now with their shared universe, their not shared universe, whatever you want to call it. Joe Manganiello, that's who I'm thinking of.
Exactly. It's so strange because literally after literally the DCEU's idea started to make sense after seeing Wonder Woman, when it was just like I watched it and I found myself like, you know what, now Wonder Woman doesn't feel so forced in Batman v Superman, because it's just like, oh, she's been through all this, and that's her motivation for being in that movie was just like, let's just put her in there because we need Wonder Woman. And it was like maybe their idea is to like have all these solo movies that show like, oh, well, these people have already existed in the universe. You don't have to do origin stories and stuff like that because they already been here, like unlike how Marvel does it. And that was a good idea. It was a good take. But now them being like, oh, we're gonna have first all the rumors of Ben Affleck's not gonna be Batman anymore. We're gonna do Batman. This is stupid. Everyone doesn't need these solo movies. I feel like villains like the Joker, Harley Quinn, Deathstroke, these could all be in Batman and Ben Affleck's Batman solo movies. I always have Batman, as he said multiple times in Batman v Superman, 20 years in Gotham, how many people have been good, how many people stay good and everything like that. He's been through a lot of shit. He's been through Jason Todd, he's been through, Harvey Dent, Two-Face, probably Oracle. So many years of Batman stories could easily be done in a Ben Affleck Batman movie that you could have Joker, Deathstroke, and Harley Quinn in it. They don't need their own solo movie. Those are just cash grabs. And those are going to probably, tank.
Yeah, absolutely. And if they still can't get The Flash right, with all the mess that's been going on with that, losing directors here and there and changing release dates and stuff like that, how are you going to announce a movie for every character that you have under the sun until you can actually start getting these things right with your main heroes? It just doesn't make sense to me. Like I said before, this one also could turn out to be really cool and, maybe mirror Deadpool in a way, since they're Deadpool's a copycat off of that. But it goes to show you that trying to catch up to Marvel the way that they're doing is not the right way to go. They could have just taken their time and really fleshed out their universe instead of throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks.
Yeah, they're like rush, and they don't need to catch up to Marvel for real, because like I said, Marvel's did this since 2008 with Iron Man. And I am like, okay, we got a Justice League movie that's happening. And I appreciate DC being like, okay, these characters have already existed. The only new person is Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Cyborg, Aquaman. They've already existed. They've already been through their stuff off screen. So I appreciate that. That was an interesting idea. So it's like, okay, they don't need solo movie. They don't need, I mean, they don't need origin stories and stuff like that. But now being like, oh, now we're gonna have this guy have his own movie. We're gonna get a Sirens movie, Joker Harley movie. It's like, no, DC, just back it up and just focus on your core heroes first. Just focus on them. Because I still know people are still like, when are we getting a Man of Steel 2 sequel? When are we getting that? And that hasn't even been announced yet.
Yeah, don't hold your breath on that one. We're going to stay with DC here as they have found their lead role for the upcoming Shazam movie, casting Zachary Levi. No word yet on who will be playing the younger counterpart in Billy Batson, but at least we know who Shazam will be played by. This is one that was actually, I mean, when they first announced Shazam, that was really at the beginning of the whole DCEU, with The Rock coming out and saying everything about he's playing Black Adam and all that stuff. And then that was probably like 4 or 5 years ago at this point now, and then we're finally just hearing casting news about it. So again, like we were just saying, DC trying to rush everything, announcing this, that, and the other, and then it doesn't happen until, I don't think this movie's coming out until 2020, 2019, something like that. But as for now, Zachary Levi will be playing Shazam. We'll see if that sticks. What do you think about Zachary Levi as Shazam?
Well, I say you only got like half the spectrum. We still need to see who's going to be, young Billy Baston and everything. And I was just like, okay, we have our Shazam. We won't be seeing him for like a couple, like 2-3 years or so, but when he's coming. Yeah, so it's like, why even like, we don't have like a release date, we don't have a director, we just know, okay, here's one of the actors in it. Don't know what the movie's about. It's just one of those things that's gonna make you be like, why is DC even doing this? Like, why was it Shazam? Why can't he just be in Justice League?
Yeah, does anybody care about Shazam either?
Yeah, like, does anybody? I don't even want to say that because I remember on the DVD, on the DC animated series, their Blu-ray series, Justice League War, Shazam is in it. He was pretty, like, he had a role in the movie. So I feel like Shazam could work in a live action if they did it properly. But now, just like you said, just throwing something to the wall, see what sticks. Like, okay, Shazam, let's make that work.
And then how much screen time is Zachary Levi as Shazam going to get compared to whoever gets cast as Billy Batson? Like, are you going to want to see the kid more if he winds up being better, or vice versa? It's going to be interesting, I guess, if it actually ever happens. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Yeah. I just have one more movie-related story for everybody. I don't know how much... actually, I do know how much of a gamer you are. So this is going to be a little bit of a throwback here, as Konami has announced that they are developing both a live-action TV series and a feature film for the classic Contra video game series. Is this one that you played? I think you're a couple years younger than me, aren't you?
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 31.
Oh yeah, I am a couple. I'm 27.
Okay. Did you ever play Contra growing up on regular Nintendo?
A long time ago. A little bit, yeah. I definitely remember it.
So, would you be interested in seeing either a TV series or a live-action movie for Contra?
See, I just have this, man. I have yet to see any game get transition to a live-action anything and end up being good. So, just like...
Come on, Mortal Kombat?
Well, Mortal Kombat is one of those, you fall that under guilty pleasure. Like, yeah.
But I don't even feel guilty about it though.
But it's like, we'll see. I just hope it's good. Hope they do it right and they do it justice.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is one that probably should have came out a long time ago, and you can put like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone in the lead roles. But it'll definitely be pretty cool to see that on the big screen or even on the small screen. So that is going to do it for our Flipping the Script segment. I usually have a bunch of strange stories that we go over on our live show. Kind of some, things that are going on in Hollywood that, aren't really about a specific movie or TV show, but are still entertainment related. I just have one for you guys today. In a recent interview with Entertainment Weekly, Robert Englund revealed that he is officially done playing Freddy Krueger, saying, "I'm too old to do another Freddy now. If I do a fight scene now, it's got to be real minimal because I can't snap my head for 800 different takes and different angles. My spine gets sore. I can still be mean and scary, but I'm mostly relegated to the sort of Van Helsing roles, old doctors and shit. So it's fun that the last moment of me ever playing Freddy is a wink to the audience." What do you think about no more Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger?
Man, this is why I have all 7 original Nightmare on Elm Street movies. But he will always be my Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger is my number 1 favorite horror icon. I understand, I understand that Robert, he been doing this for the longest. So I understand him being like, yeah, I'm too old to do Freddy and everything. I can only say bitch for so long. I can't slash people up and everything.
Did you ever see the YouTube mashup video of every time he says bitch throughout the series?
I gotta watch that too.
You have to find that one.
Yeah, bitch. But I love Robert Englund's commitment and everything, and he will always be, no shade to Jackie Earle Haley.
I'm throwing shade at Jackie Earle Haley.
It wasn't his. Shit. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have brought him up. It is all about Robert Englund as our original Freddy Krueger, and I will always love him. And I agree that he's just too old to be doing this shit. There just comes a time where you're just like, you're too old, man. That's like Harrison Ford. We realized that he was going to be in Blade Runner. We're like, damn, Harrison, you old as shit. You're still making movies. But I think that it is good. I'd rather him not get hurt or worse or anything. I want Robert to stay alive as long as he can and keep Freddy's legacy alive. If anything, I think that he should, if they ever make maybe a series or something, or maybe a game or something, he should voice Freddy, because he always has that deep, raspy Freddy voice. He's all like this.
Right.
It's odd, yeah. So definitely, Rob, good decision, man. I support it.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, he's getting up there in age. We don't want him to get hurt or anything like that. It kind of sucks that the way he went out with Freddy vs. Jason. I mean, that movie wasn't the greatest. I mean, the premise is absolutely awesome. Whether the film was really good or not is a different story. And then they kind of left it open-ended there with, Jason carrying Freddy's head away. So nobody really won or lost. But, definitely got to give the man a tip of the hat there. He is, as you iterated, he's also my number 1 horror icon of all time. To this day, I still have Freddy Krueger related nightmares. Those movies as a kid growing up just scared the shit out of me. So somebody that has that kind of a lasting effect on you, however many years later, must have done a good job. So, Robert Englund, thank you very much for your service, and we'll still look to see if you pop up with anything else. Before we get going, as we do have Darnell with me today, I wanted to talk to you about your YouTube channel. Tell everybody what it's all about and where they can find it.
Yeah, my YouTube channel name is The Neezy Channel with 2 Z's. My channel is just pretty much about, like I said, I see a lot of movies before they come out and everything, and I'm pretty much, my theme of my channel is to just tell you what the movie is about without spoiling it, just let you know what you need to expect in the movie. I am in no means, I'm not here to like the movie for you. I just want you to know what's it about without spoiling it. What actors are in it, are they good? The plot, is it easy to follow? What's good about it, what's bad about it? Because I can realize if a movie's good, it might have flaws in it. No movie's perfect. Well, there maybe Black Panther, that might be perfect, but
I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, so just my channel is all about I do talk kind of fast and everything, but it's really just about catering to you guys, to let you know what movies are coming out, if they're good, if they're bad, just like, hey, it's one of those like, okay, I feel like going out Friday night. What movies are coming out? Because like I said, oh, just review for this movie 3 days before it comes out. Is it good? Okay, and my ratings for it are pretty simple. It's either it's worth seeing a matinee, it's worth seeing a full price, it's worth buy it on Blu-ray or digital. Is it good one time only or is it meh? Whatever. you know. So just my reviews, short, simple, to the point, get your rating, and just pretty much I'm here to tell you what the movie is about, and I'm not here to like it for you. Because don't come back to me like the movie was shit and you're a shithead. I don't know why you fucking said you like that movie. Just like I just want you. I said I enjoyed it. This is what it was about. Now, if this what caters to you, that sounds like that's up your alley. Then hey, it's not my fault. So like that next movie, I think I got a screening for that Bad Moms Christmas tomorrow, so I might see that. Even though I'm not crazy about comedies, so I'll probably just go. I give every movie a chance, even if it's like okay, it might not be my cup of tea, but if it's somebody else's cup of tea, I'll be like, you might like that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to see Thor Ragnarok. And I was thinking about it all last week, like, oh, my man Sean said he didn't like it. Like, oh, man. And I was just like, and I feel like I was thinking all this summer, like, Thor Ragnarok.
I know.
The last two Thor movies were just like, I always thought, like, okay, Thor 1 was just there because we needed him for the Avengers. And Thor 2, The Dark World, was just there because it had an Infinity Stone in it. So you need to have that movie so people can go back and be like, oh, that's where that Infinity Stone came from. Okay. And I was just like, okay, Thor Ragnarok, at least be the Thor movie, that could be great. So I'm gonna check it out in IMAX, and if it's good, then I'll be like, hey, this is what it's about. Yeah, if it's bad, then I'll be like, well, Marvel just dropped the ball again.
Let me ask you this: did you enjoy Guardians 2?
I liked it, but I didn't love it.
Why didn't you love it?
I didn't love it because I felt like, if I'm being honest, I felt like it was a step backwards from the first Guardians and everything. First of all, first Guardians Galaxy 2 was just weighed down with too much dumb, goofy humor that I didn't need.
Okay, that right there is Thor Ragnarok.
Oh god! Because the one scene that sticks out in my head the most, that just sums it all up, was in Guardians Galaxy 2 when Star-Lord found out that Ego killed his mom and everything. Then they had that scene where they're fighting. He literally turns into a Pac-Man. I was just like, the guy who killed your dad, now you turn into a Pac-Man. That's so goofy.
Yeah, I think what did it for me was like Drax making poop jokes in that movie.
Yeah, and then Drax making all these poop jokes and everything. I was just like, I literally was just like, wow, this is like Marvel. Marvel just kind of like they just jumped the gun with this one. This is like nothing like first Guardians of the Galaxy. The first Guardians of the Galaxy was like a surprise hit, like a shit. I don't know who these people are. I hope it works out. And it was great. And we're like, okay, the second one's gonna be good too, because Baby Groot's cute, and Rocket's still throwing out one-liners. And I watched it. I was just like, I mean, it's good, but shit, I wanted to love it, but I just liked it. So
yeah, that's how I felt with Ragnarok as well. I was really excited for it, and then we started seeing the trailers and the TV spots, and it's joke, and there's just no substance to it. So again, if you guys don't mind spoilers and you want to read the review early, it is up on the Cinescape.com. It comes out next week. So if you want to wait and then see it and then come back and check it out, definitely give it a read. Leave us some comments on, either on that itself, on Facebook, on Twitter, and we can debate it. When we get back in the studio in 2 weeks, we're going to have our big spoiler discussion as well. Bill will be back. I'll be back. We'll have some other fan favorites in there. We're also going to have a group of fellow podcasters coming in by the name of the Black Tribbles. They broadcast out of a studio in Philly here. So they're going to be on the show with us as well. They're going to be bringing in their recording equipment. They're going to be filming a little docu-series that's going to be coming out next spring. So we're going to have a lot of stuff in there. We're also going to be playing a team matchup in the Cinescape Trivia Challenge between Bill and myself. We're going to be teaming up. We don't have a name yet. We're thinking of a name. We're thinking of a gimmick to go by. So we're going to be taking on 2 of the Black Tribbles. That event is up on our Facebook page right now, so make sure you go on and RSVP to that so you know exactly when it's coming out. It is November 11th, 5 o'clock. With everything else that we talked about, it was a lot of fun today. Darnell, I wanted to thank you so much for hopping on. We had a little bit of a technical issue going on beforehand, but we figured it out and we got it going. So thank you so much for hanging out with me on this Sunday.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. And I was just thinking 2 things. My first thing I was thinking about, I was just like, I got a feeling like if Thor does turn out to be joke after joke after joke, I know I'm gonna start my review off by being like, well, Sean was right. Sean was right. So Sean, this is your shout out. And yeah, the second thing was I definitely had an amazing time on here. I'm just thinking like, I hope he calls me back for more shows. Like, I hope I can come back and do this again. This was great.
Yeah, man, and we talked before, you got to come out here and hop in the studio with us sometime. We definitely want to get you to play some trivia with us too. Have some fun with us, hang out, drink some beers. It'll be a good time. East Coast.
Yeah, I'll bring the hot dog buns.
There you go, man. All right, you can find Darnell on YouTube at the Black Kneesy channel, also on Twitter at Black Kneesy. I'll have all the descriptions in our show notes to where you can find his channel. For Darnell and for myself, Sean Harrigan, thank you guys so much for checking our show out today, and have a great rest of your weekend.